Hello my people, Vanuvedu, Abantubam, Mafetu. Welcome to the African electronic music production channel, African Electronic. So in this session, I'm just going to go through a technique that often people from another digital audio workstation like Ableton Live use quite often, which is recording MIDI from one MIDI channel into another. And this may be the case that you've got an arpeggiator on one of the MIDI channels that you want to record from, or you have a sequencer, or you might be using a third-party VST plugin that has its own arpeggiator or sequencer as well, or using some sort of chord plugin that helps you play chords using minimal keys, but then it's somehow able to play them in sort of complex ways. So first and foremost, the reason I'm making this video is because since moving from a digital audio workstation like Ableton Live, where I was able to do this simply by routing, using the routing system where I might use a MIDI input on one of the tracks to receive the MIDI from another one, I was trying to figure out for a while how to do it in Studio One. So I'm using Studio One 5 now, but I've been using this for a couple of years now. I had Studio One 4 before this, and yeah, so I was trying to figure it out, but I couldn't really work out how to do it. So yes, I sort of, tried to figure out different ways of doing it, and I came up to this actually. So in this instance, what I'm going to be doing for the purposes of this demonstration is use Pigments, which is a VST plugin by Arturia, a great software synthesizer that's also got a powerful arpeggiator and sequencer. Definitely check this plugin out if you want. Like, this is not a sponsored video or anything. I bought this plugin, and yeah, so I've sort of made this, and I'll just play it for you. Yeah, and what I would like to do is get the MIDI from this into another track so that I can see the MIDI, and I might want to select different parts of the sequence to utilize in my production, whether it's for bass or melodies, or simply just edit this MIDI, because I don't want to be sitting here all day trying to sort of use these. I mean, this is one of the sort of, when you're being creative, especially in the creative stage of generating ideas, using sequences and arpeggios is a great way to come up with sort of, patterns that you may not necessarily come up with if you were clicking notes in. So what I've done here is I've also added another instance of Arturia Prophet V3 on another channel, but you can use any plugin you want, whether it's native to Studio One or third-party VST. And what I'm just going to do is route the MIDI. I'm going to use the sort of MIDI input here, which is instrument input. That's what it's called in Studio One. And I'm going to select Pigments over here. So what will happen when I press the same key I was playing before, I'll just enable this. You hear both of these instruments playing at the So yes, so you hear both of the instruments playing at the same time. So what I would like to do now is to record these parts in. So a way that I can go about this is I can simply just come here, because I'm only just pressing one key anyway. I can just click in for a MIDI part, and then I can just click this in and extend the part to the end, so it's now 4 bars. And now you can hear that it's playing the same arpeggio that it was before. And so how do I then get the MIDI from this singular note that's playing here? So what I'm going to do now is simply, because I've sort of recorder enabled the Prophet 5, I'm going to remove the pigments because we don't need that. But if I want to hear it, I can just put on monitor. And what I'm simply going to do is press record here at the bottom. And that's it. We've literally got the MIDI that was playing from the arpeggiator and Pigments into showing as notes in Studio One in the piano roll. So just to demonstrate that, I can just mute the Pigments now. I'm gonna remove the routing here, so none. And I'm just gonna play the Prophet just by itself. And there you can see I actually changed between the takes, because I noticed that on take 2 the initial note, which is the first note that you can see in take 1, was missing, probably because I may have pressed stop a little too late when it was going in the second cycle of recording the take. And yes, so that's pretty much how you can record MIDI from an arpeggiator sequencer in a third-party VST instrument in Studio One 5, so that you can edit it and do whatever you want with it. So, you know, just as an example, you might just think, okay, maybe I like this part here, and that's what I would like to use in my track. So you can simply just do this, and then if I just loop this over, you've kind of got a half bar loop. Maybe we can change the this is just like the default preset from Prophet 5. See, you've got a nice little sequence now. That's half a bar. That's very usable in techno and house. So definitely check these out. They're great tools to use to come up with creative ideas for hooks, for bass lines, melodies, chords, any of that stuff. Yeah, Studio One is great for that, and other DAWs as well. You know, I used Ableton Live for a while, and it's a powerful DAW, but just use whatever you feel is comfortable for you. Thanks so much. This has been the African electronic music production channel, African Electronic. I hope to see you next time. Peace.